Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and today we are going to be talking about War of the Sontarans, the second episode in Doctor Who Flux, which is basically Series 13. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed this episode. Now, how good this episode is going to be dependent on how the story wraps up. By the end of Flux, or as I strongly suspect, I think this story is going to carry on into her specials. I don't think it's actually going to wrap up with episode 6 of Flux. I expect it to carry on into her specials. But how this whole Flux story wraps up is going to determine, I think, how each individual episode is looked at retroactively. But just going off what we've seen so far, I enjoyed episode 2. I've enjoyed Flux so far. First off, Whittaker really seems to be hitting her stride in the role. I've always been critical of her as the 13th Doctor. After series 11 and 12, I'd always said it's very telling that my favorite 13th Doctor story was the short story by Moffat, Terror of the Umptyums. Because in that story, the 13th Doctor feels like the Doctor. And it said a lot that was in a situation where it wasn't the actress playing the Doctor, it was a story. Excuse me. But she had moments in series 11 and 12 where she clicked as the Doctor, but I never quite connected with her. I'm starting to do so more now. She's really starting to behave more like the Doctor. I really liked her as the Doctor in episode 1. And in episode 2 here with the Sontarans, she really felt like the Doctor to me, the way she was acting, the way she was trying to sort everything out and keep control of the situation, the way she was staring down the Sontarans. I really, really liked her in this. She really is starting to feel like the Doctor to me. This story moves at a very fast pace. It never really slows down. But it's not like in a bad way, like, say, Rise of Skywalker or The Timeless Children was, where it's going so fast, it's like it's trying to distract you from the fact a lot of the story doesn't make sense, which is what Timeless Children and Rise of Skywalker do. There are instances where the more you think about the story, the more you're like, wait a minute. But this one, the story actually made sense to me. I liked everything that was going on. I liked the fly by the seat of the pants action. I liked that the TARDIS team gets split up very quick, so we get 3 different places it's jumping back and forth between. Everything with Yaz at this planet of time and everything going on there, which just raises so many more questions. I like what's going on there. I'm just as in the dark and wanting to know what's going on there as everybody else. I like what's going on with Dan in the present. I like Dan. He has really grown on me. I just like the way Bishop plays that character. I really enjoy him. I like his sense of humor. He has some really humorous bits in this story. I like when the dog guy shows up, whose name I can't pronounce. I like him. They have a rapport with them that kind of reminds me of how me and my best friend get along. Because me and my best friend, we banter a lot. It's the reason why we're best friends. They kind of have that. You could just see them like getting a sideshow, like a spin-off series where they go on adventures together, kind of a Django Lightfoot-like thing. I don't know. You could just kind of see that happening. I enjoyed their rapport. I liked them in that time period. I really liked the actress playing Mary Seacole or whatever her name is. I'm not familiar with this historical character at all. But I liked the character, and the actress playing her did a really good job. I liked the captain of the British military. I think the actor playing him did a good job. He does kind of have that British military arrogance of, I can handle this, I'm stronger, I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 Doctor. And watching him get humbled with the battle with the Sontarans and having to ask her for help, I enjoyed that. I really liked the battle, and when you see the Doctor parlaying with the Sontaran and you see the army of Sontarans behind the Sontaran commander, and then you see the British commander with his army behind them and them going into each other, I thought that was a really neat sequence. I really like the effects here. This seems like it has a really big budget. The effects look top-notch. It has a very cinematic quality to it that, especially having come off, just watched a lot of classic Who, because I do have some upcoming reviews for some stuff I've watched. I just rewatched. I watched The Mind Robber not too long ago for the first time. I watched Reign of Terror again. I watched The Visitation, and I just watched Earthshock, reviews of which are all coming. And going from that to looking how good everything looks, this very movie theater quality effects and cinematography, it looks gorgeous. They've really put a lot of budget into it. Looking at the Sontaran ships in the shipyard, all of that looks really good. It's kind of weird for me that Dan was able to sneak onto the ship so easily. You'd think the Sontarans, who are bred for war, would have a little better security and that they'd have more than one guard. He knocks a few too many of them out with the frying pan, I think. Even though I still think it's funny he's doing that. It does have some nice humor woven through it. I do like the one Sontaran when he's like, I wanted to ride a horse, when they're asking why they're attacking in the, Chimera area. And I wanted to ride a horse. I don't know, I find that funny. I like the Sontarans' Classic Who look. They look like if Classic Who had been made with a better budget. They really do look like modern versions of the classic Sontarans, and I really like that they went that direction with it. They look very, very nice. I could have done without the Soltar Ha thing. I've never liked that. I get as an army they need a kind of slogan or saying, but I've never liked the Soltar Ha. That's a little irksome. And then the one point when he executes the one soldier and he's like, Soltar Ho, Soltar Ho. I kept expecting Lion-O with the Sword of Omens to jump out and go, Ho! So I was kind of like, there are little things you could nitpick, and I'm sure there are plenty of other people on YouTube who are going to, because some people just aren't happy unless they're picking apart everything, because that's just where the fandom's at. But I can overlook little things. Little things like this don't bother me. I'm not one of these people that like to nitpick things. Overall, I enjoyed the story. Again, I love the cinematography. I really liked Whitaker as the Doctor in this. She's really hitting her stride for me. And then I like the quick pace of it. I like the fact that it's just going. But it doesn't feel like it's doing it by sacrificing any of the story, or that it's trying to cover up any of the writing's shortcomings. I am a little surprised that the captain was able to blow up the Sontaran ships back in the past, like whenever year that was. These Sontaran ships are so advanced, he's able to blow them up with just a bunch of dynamite and gunpowder. I figured the Sontaran ships would be strong enough it wouldn't do that. But again, that's a little nitpick. I don't know, maybe an explosion's an explosion. I like the fact the British commander did that, because I don't blame him for doing that. The Doctor kind of gets onto him. Sometimes I don't know why I defend humanity. Kind of reminds me of the 10th Doctor in Christmas Invasion when Harriet Jones shoots the Sycorax ship as it's leaving. They might have come back. I've always agreed with the humans in that situation. Sometimes you have to send a message. So I don't blame the captain for blowing up the ships just to kind of say, hey, don't screw with us, we are dangerous. Of course, being the Sontarans, they just send a bigger fleet, but I actually agreed with the commander soldier on that. But I am kind of surprised that just that little bit of gunpowder would have blown up all the ships. Again, I'm surprised the Sontarans are beat so easily since they're a creature bred for war. The Doctor just removing their air and food supply so easily seems a little Deus Ex Machina. But again, it's nitpicking. I'm not going to pick that apart like some other YouTubers will. I enjoyed the episode. I found it a lot of fun. Again, it's all going to boil down. Each individual episode of Flux, and possibly the specials afterwards, are all going to boil down to how well this whole storyline sticks its landing. That's going to make or break this entire Flux deal, is how well that final episode wraps everything up, how well it sticks the landing. So retroactively, I might like this episode, I might not. It's like judging something like the War Games, having only seen the first 2 episodes of the War Games, or Dalek's Master Plan, having only seen the first 2 episodes of Dalek's Master Plan. These classic Who longer stories, or the Invasion, imagine if you went back and watched the Invasion with the Second Doctor and you've only seen the first 2 stories of the Invasion. It's really hard to just review episodes 1 and 2 of that without having seen the whole thing. So with that in mind, I enjoyed it. I really liked the cinematography. I really liked the Doctor. I really liked Dan. We didn't really get as much with Yaz in this. I like the fact she ran into that one guy from 1820 who's kind of building the spots. I really want to know what's going on more with him. Why is he there? I don't really know who he is. I know he was a real person. I don't really know much about him. So I want to know more about what's going on with that. And I'm really looking forward to the next episode. So that's my thoughts on War of the Sontarans. Thus far, I really enjoyed it. I'd like to know what you think of it, and if you even honestly gave it an actual honest chance, because I like to go into these things open-minded. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it, and what you think of my review of it, and if you understand my reasonings for why I feel the way I do. So comment down below and let me know. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. Other things to do, if you really enjoyed this video, click that like button, click the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal right now. Help me out with that if you like my content. I do have some classic reviews on the way. The Reign of Terror, The Visitation, and Earthshock are on the way, and The Mind Robber, which was my first time viewing The Mind Robber. That was a lot of fun. Also, I have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to support what I do, there is a link to that down in the description below where you have access to bloopers, outtakes, behind-the-scenes videos where I talk about myself and other stuff and my process for doing videos. Early videos drop on there. My review for The Visitation is already up on there, and that doesn't come out for about a week and a half. That's already on there if you would like to join. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month. Or not. Whatever suits you. Most importantly, I just want to say thank you for watching.